Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Gopi Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jami Hari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Everyone please.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 그리고 Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Gaur Premanande. Jayo Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajikacharya Astatar Sutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astatar Sutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Brihat Radanga Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Shri Gopalji Ki Jai. Shri Julan Yatra Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai. Tagore Premanande. All glories to Srila. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasacha Deshatane.
Okay.
Let's just keep it Awesome.
Could you put it on a pad
Because the Mridanga drum is not different from Balaram. So Balaram came in to the temple here, Shri Radhamadhava Mandir. You'd first offer your obeisances to Balaram, right? And then next thing is you would offer him a seat. Idam asanam, you give him a place to sit. So Balaram has come here to our temple in the form of a Mridanga drum. So we offer obeisances and we offer him a place to sit on the pad. And we chant pranam mantra. You want to hear Mridanga pranam mantra?
Sure.
Mridangai Brahmarupai
Brahmarupaya
Lavanam
Navanam
Rasa
Rasa
Madurai
Madurai
Sarvamidam
Sarvamidam
Samyuktam
Samyuktam
Mridangai
Mridangai
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
This is the Mridanga Pranam mantra that is used in the Narottam Das Thakur tradition Mridanga school. So Narottam Das Thakur is one of our greatest musicians in Gaudiya Vaishnava history. And one time Narottam Das Thakur was playing Mridanga and singing and leading the kirtan during the first Gaur Pranim festival, 50 years after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's departure from this world, around 450 years ago. And East Bengal, Bangladesh, a place called Khetri Gram. And he was singing so sweetly that even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left this world, along with Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, and so many other devotees, that in the middle of this beautiful kirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Panchatattva, and all of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they appeared within the kirtan party. Hari Bol.
Very nice.
And they began chanting and dancing. So powerful is Narottam Das Thakur's kirtan that Mahaprabhu himself with his associates appeared within the kirtan. So we can only hope that something again happens like that for us.
Very good.
My greatest aspiration in life, or one of my great aspirations, is one day in kirtan, we should be having big kirtan, maybe at the opening of the temple of the planetarium, Vedic Planetarium 2022 in Mayapur. There's a beautiful temple coming up in Mayapur, temple of the Vedic Planetarium. And the kirtan hall is so big that it can accommodate 10,000 devotees in the kirtan. So can you imagine 10,000 devotees coming together in the kirtan and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'm hopeful that in one of these great kirtans, we will see great personality that we have not seen for a long time reappear within the kirtan dancing.
Very good.
And that personality that I so much desire to have darshan of is our own divine grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Wouldn't it be wonderful
Very nice.
that we are in a great kirtan and Prabhupada himself comes and dances in that kirtan? Maybe with so many wonderful devotees that have left the planet, like Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Gaur Govinda Maharaj and Sridhar Maharaj and so many other wonderful devotees.
Jayananda Prabhu.
Jayananda Prabhu. Yes, he would definitely be there. So this is our desire. So in order to help facilitate the possibility of this happening, this should be very sweet kirtan. So we should have very nice mridanga playing. And if we treat the mridanga with the same respect that we offer to Balaram, then we have some more hope of this wonderful event the possibility of it occurring. And even if it doesn't occur physically, at least within our heart, maybe we'll get this wonderful darshan, wonderful drishti. So please treat Balaram with the utmost respect, and then Balaram may reciprocate with us in the most wonderful ways. And coming up soon also, Balaram Jayanti.
Yes.
It's coming on the
7th,
7th, Monday, coming soon. Coming to a temple near you soon. So this is also a wonderful opportunity for us to glorify Balaram and enjoy sweet Mridanga playing.
Very good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So let us begin our discussion this evening. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraya
Tata Jayamudiraya.
Nasta Preshu Bhadreshu
Nastaprayesu Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavate Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki
Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya.
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Nanda Gopakumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Kripaya aap sab mere saath ke saath. Om Jnana Churandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapikam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddha Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahagana Laginatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritamscha Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiyeti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asatadeshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Varami Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarvyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I think no need of introduction, huh? Just continue.
If you want, I can give it.
Yeah, you can give a brief introduction.
Hare Krishna. I just want to introduce His Grace Ekalavya Prabhu. As you have listened the music, he's a music talent. He came out, graduated from the Berkeley Music Institute in Boston. And, you know, whatever way Krishna wants, he is now the instrument of Krishna. Whatever way he plays, he comes, give us lights. Look at how beautifully he explained this Midanga thing. Lots of things we don't know. So take this advantage whenever he comes. This is his second visit, I believe. And
in this lifetime.
And many to comes. And with the mercy of Radha Madhav and all Vaishnava, he's getting, you know, the order of, sannyas pretty soon. And we also pray to Radha Madhav to fulfill his desire so that we can get benefit out of his achievement, so that the human, civilization gradually go progress to the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Let's welcome His Holiness, His Grace Ekalavya Prabhu, listen to him and get the benefit. Send this message all the families you know. Please let them come and take the benefit, because he's here already. They are taking so much of, making so much of endeavor to let us to get some benefit. I actually humbly bow down my head unto you, Lotus Feet, that you are taking so much of trouble. He is the specialist of trumpet. I tell you the small story. Because of taking the sannyas order, he has to give up the most beloved instrument he used to play. And he has a very specialty on that music, because the Western music is the impediment to go for the mission he is going for. And whoever he is aspiring or guide, I think is Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj, has given him straight instruction not to play Western music's instrument. Rather focus on Mridanga. Look at his Mridanga playing. You will find something different, because he has a music talent. So let's listen to him. Instead of I'm talking, let's listen to him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, I was asked about 10 years ago to give a seminar in Bahrain, which we call Balaram Desh.
Yeah, Bahrain. Yeah.
And they asked me to speak on Vaishnava relationships. So I immediately called my old friend and mentor, Gaur Gopal Prabhu in Chopati, Radha Gopinath Mandir, Mumbai. We had lived there together as brahmacharis for a couple of years. And I said, Prabhu, they've asked me to speak on Vaishnava relationships, so what should I say? So he said, whenever I'm asked to speak on the subject of Vaishnava relationships, I always cover 5 topics. And those topics are humility, tolerance, forgiveness, appreciation, and patience. So I made an acronym to combine these 5 to help me remember. Help to free all people.
Very good.
Right? Because if we have good Vaishnava relationships, we can serve together nicely as a team, and we can be more powerful in distributing the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. And that will help to free all people. So H, help, humility. 2, T, tolerance. Free, F, forgiveness. A, all, appreciation. And P, people, patience. So Prabhupada gives the analogy of if you have one stick alone, it's very easy to break one stick. But if you tie many sticks together, it's very difficult to break that bundle of sticks. So if we have good Vaishnava relationships, we can be bundled very tightly in that bundle of sticks. And this will protect our own spiritual life, the spiritual life of our whole community, and it will enable us to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada in a more effective way. Prabhupada said, your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate together to keep this mission going after I am gone. So Vaishnava relationships are an essential component of the cultivation of this mood of cooperation by which we can show our love for Srila Prabhupada. In addition to these 5 qualities of humility, tolerance, forgiveness, appreciation, and patience, there's also the 6 loving exchanges given by Srila Rupa Goswami. These are also very effective in cultivating Vaishnava relationships. Dadati pratigrinati guyam akyati prichati mukte bojayate chaiva sadvidham priti lakshanam. Dadati like dhan, means to give. Pratigrinati, giving gifts in charity and receiving gifts in charity. Dadati pratigrinati guyam akyati prichati. Guyam means secret. So whatever's on our mind is kind of a secret. If we share that secret with our friends in confidence, then that's also a loving exchange. And we have to share confidentially and also hear confidentially. We should listen when someone wants to share something with us. They have something they want to get off their chest, as we say, or from their heart. They want to share their heart. Vedanti pratigrinati guyam akiti prichate bhukte bojayate chaiva. This is our favorite one, right?
Yeah.
To give prasad and receive prasad. I was given a ride here to Mandir by Radhamada Prabhu and his family. And immediately upon entering the vehicle, I was offered prasad. And this Mataji was just going around with these great prasadam and distributing to everyone. It's a wonderful, loving exchange. Well, this is a great aspect of ISKCON, Antarashtriya Krishna Bhavavat Sangha, that we have this wonderful opportunity to exchange love through these 6 exchanges: giving gifts, receiving gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad, and offering prasad. So the first step in humility is to understand that we need relationships. There's a saying in English, no man is an island. We are not alone. We don't live in a vacuum. It is not the time and day when yogis just go to the Himalayas and live in a gufa, all by themselves, and do some solitary bhajan. Actually, this is condemned by our acharyas, Vaishnava K. Oh my mind, what kind of Vaishnava are you? You think you can just go to a solitary place alone and chant, but this is just for a desire for pratistha, for name and fame. We need each other. We need this sangha of devotees. Just like in India, when you're growing a new tree, you put some fence around the tree. Otherwise, some bakri, some bakri may come and eat the tree as prasad, right? Bakri prasad. So, one time I was in Maharashtra and they said, what do you want to eat? And I said, bakri. And because there's a preparation called bakri, right? Bakri. Bakri. It's like roti.
Yes, yes.
So I like that very much. I said, you can make me some bakri. And they said, bakri? You have to follow 4 regulative principles. No meat, no fish, no eggs. I said, not the goat. I want the roti. That's bakri. So the goat sometimes comes, the bakri sometimes comes and eats the tree. So therefore they put fence around the tree. So for us, our Bhakti Lata Beach, our creeper of devotion, that devotional plant is growing. And especially when it is very young, it is very kamal, very soft. Kamal. So therefore we put a fence around our Bhakti Lata Beach. And do you know what is the best fence around the Bhakti Lata Beach? It's the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastrikoi, Lavamatra, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhikoi. Even a moment's association is beneficial. But the more association we have, the better. And then we can protect our creeper of devotion. Therefore, Prabhupada's contribution of ISKCON to this world is so valuable, because where else can you go and every night come between 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. or later to have the association of devotees? It's such a great gift that Srila Prabhupada has given us. So we have to understand that we need relationships, and this will help us to cultivate positive, nourishing, growing, healthy relationships. So we have to understand we need relationships. Another aspect of humility that's very important is taking a humble position in a conflict. Krishna consciousness is beyond right and wrong. It doesn't matter sometimes who is right or who is wrong. It's more important to maintain the relationship. Sometimes devotees may get in a fight. I am right. No, I am right. No, I am right. I am right. Okay, I will not talk to you anymore. Like that. And the relationships break up. So sometimes it's better someone say, I am right. And you say, yes, you're right. Maybe right, maybe wrong. But it's not so important. The important thing is to maintain the relationships and develop the relationships. Humility also means to understand the very core philosophical principle, Gopi Bhartor Padakamalayar Das Das Anudasaha. That our identity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Kshudra, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Brahmachari, I'm not a Grahastha, I'm not a Vanaprastha, I'm not a sannyasi, just Gopi Bhartor Padakamalayar Das Das Anudasaha. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the master of the gopis. So we should try to remain in this mood of serving the devotees. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, devotees would come to the Ganga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take their clothes. He would wash their clothes for them, put them out to dry, fold them up, carry their loads. Maybe they went to the sabji market, they had a big basket of sabji. He'd carry their sabji for them. He'd carry their cloth. He'd clean the ghat so that it was very nice for devotees to take bath. He'd do all kinds of services for them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. Namo Mahavandanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namane Gaurasena Namaha. He is the Supreme Lord himself. He doesn't need to offer service to anyone, but to set an example for us, he offers this service, and we should follow his example. Just like a teacher is writing on the board, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Or A, E, U, A, I, O, aha. Right? The teacher does not need to write these things. But out of showing an example to the students, the teacher shows his or her example. So Mahaprabhu is giving the example to us. He's serving the Vaishnavas, so we should also endeavor to serve the Vaishnavas. This will help us cultivate the mood of humility, which will help us in developing Vaishnava relationships. The most important verse in all of Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says we should string this verse like a mala on the thread of the holy name and wear this mala around our neck constantly. This particular shloka, this verse, this is the third shloka of the Shikshastakam prayers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very, very important prayers. When I first received a book, one of my first books I received from devotees was Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. And I had met devotees many times before. I love prasadam. I was a prasadam bhakta. Who here came to Krishna consciousness first because of prasadam? Anyone besides me? Yes. A lot of devotees. So I especially enjoyed the blueberry halava. Boston, they were making blueberry halava, pineapple halava, strawberry halava, everything was going on. And I loved the music. I would go to the temple and play my trumpet, right, as Prabhuji was mentioning earlier, with my friend who played the tablas, and we'd have great music sessions with the Hare Krishnas. And I love the music, I love the food, I like the devotees also. I found the devotees to be very good character, very respectful, like ladies and gentlemen. They were very nice. But I could not understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So I received this book in the airport, JFK airport, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. And Srimad Bhagavatam begins, there's an introduction, the life story of Lord Chaitanya, his biography. And when I read his biography, I was amazed. Wow, what a great personality. Because I had read autobiography of a yogi, and I was impressed by that. But when I read the story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, I was 10 times more impressed, 100 times more impressed. Especially when I came to the Shikshastakam prayers. And I said, this is the most amazing thing I've ever read in my whole life. And I should read this every day. So even I started a sadhana of reading Shikshastakam before joining ISKCON formally. And this verse, Trinadapi Sunichana, is one of the most, if not the most important verse of the Shikshastakam. So anyone does not know this verse, I recommend you learn it. It's a fantastic verse. Let's chant it together. Ready?
Ready.
Trinadapi Sunichena,
Trinadapi Sunichena,
Taror api sahishnuna,
Darorapi Shohisnana,
Amanina manadena,
Amanina Manadena,
Kirtaniya sadahari.
Kirtaniya Sadahari.
So Trinadapi Sunichena means one should be more humble than a blade of grass. Now if you walk out in the park down by the Bow River, you see so much grass is there. And if you walk on the grass, does the grass complain?
No.
No. You step on the grass will just bow down. And then when you continue walking, the grass will the grass will gradually come up again. So we should be in the same mood. We should be ready to bow and bend in any situation, except if the Vaishnavas of the Lord is being blasphemed, then we have to be strong. But for our own reputation and pride, we should never make a big fuss. Just like one time Srivas Thakur, he was doing every night, all-night kirtans in his home with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and so many devotees. And only devotees were allowed to come to the program. Some people were not allowed to come. and they became envious. So out of envy of Srivas Thakur, they decided to blaspheme him and ruin his reputation as a Vaishnava by putting some Durga paraphernalia in front of his house. Puja plate with some wine and meat and all kinds of nasty things. So then he opened his door in the morning and he saw this Durga Puja paraphernalia and these people who had tried to ruin his reputation there watching from a distance. What will happen? And they thought he would immediately try to hide it so no one would see. But he called out, "Everyone, come see what I'm doing. Now you can see the truth of my character, that my character is not good." But all the devotees came and they have so much faith in Srivas Thakur that they took away that puja paraphernalia, they washed the place with cow dung. And they knew Srivas, and they said, "Srivas will never do this wine and meat and all these things." So because of his humility, he did not get angry, he did not get upset, he was peaceful in every situation. So we should also try to follow his example and just inspire by our sincerity and endeavoring to cultivate Krishna consciousness, not to try to prove that we are a great devotee or not even to try to hide our faults, which may also be there. So we should be more humble than a blade of grass. If someone walks on us, then that's okay. We'll recover. Prabhupada would say, the dogs may bark, but the caravan will pass. Caravan is like a guddy, it's like ox cart, bail guddy, right? Big bail guddy, it's caravan. So sometimes when the bail guddy is going by a village, dogs will come like this. And sometimes you get a little bit afraid. So the dogs may bark, but the bail guddy chalenge, it passes, it goes. So sometimes in our Krishna consciousness, we're doing our best. Some criticism may come, but what to do? We should just keep moving forward in our Krishna consciousness. So grass, this is interesting. A friend of mine put this together. G, gratitude. R, respect. A, acceptance. S, simplicity. And S, surrendered. So G, gratitude. Gratitude is an important part of humility. That we should understand whatever happens to us is the mercy of Krishna, and we should be grateful in any circumstance. Even something very difficult happens to us. Lord Brahma prays in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tate nukampam susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam vidvag vipurvir vinadanimaste jiveti yo mukti pade sadayabhak. Lord Brahma prays, "O my Lord, I have done so many terrible things in this lifetime. I have done so many terrible things in my previous lifetimes. Whatever suffering I'm going through now, you are only giving me a small percentage of the suffering I actually deserve. I deserve much worse, but you are only giving me a small amount of suffering, and that is your mercy just to purify me." A devotee who can pray in this mood with a grateful heart, the kingdom of God becomes their rightful claim. So this is another extremely beautiful verse from our Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, which teaches us to be grateful in any situation, even if we're going through the greatest pain. This is my favorite verse when I'm at the dentist. The dentist is drilling me. just chanting. At least 50 times during my dental visits, if it's a heavy drilling experience, I will chant this verse. And that is Krishna's mercy upon me. He's just giving me little suffering, and that is just to purify me. And I deserve much, much worse than that experience. So let us try to remember this verse when we go through difficulties. And our dear friend Samir in Montreal, I met him and his son last year in Mayapur, during Mayapur festival. And his son was Ekdam Bahut Bariya Vaishnava.
Oh,
He was really wonderful devotee. And I was so much, they invited me, please come to Montreal. And son said, I'm looking forward to meeting you again. And I was so much looking, and Samir was so happy to be in Mayapur with his son. And now his son has left. Krishna has taken him to another place. So Samir is going through so much pain right now and difficulties. And I humbly appeal to Vaishnavas who know him to please phone him and offer your condolences and support. And I will also do this with the mercy of Krishna. But because Samir is so Krishna consciousness, he has so much Krishna consciousness, I'm confident that he's keeping the philosophy of Krishna consciousness in mind. And he's remembering this verse, and he's remembering verses like this. And he's understanding that I'm going through so much pain, but this pain is actually given to me by Krishna. I deserve worse pain, and this pain is just to purify me. And he can accept this most difficult situation. There's practically nothing more painful for a father than seeing the son leave the planet before him. But he can see this in the mood of gratitude. In the mood of gratitude. And I've seen this in other parents who've lost their children in Krishna consciousness, that even though they went through such a difficult time, their Krishna consciousness became only stronger as a result of their difficult situation. So I pray and I appeal to all of us, let us pray together that Samir Prabhu will have the strength to remember Krishna and remember the philosophy and experience the mood of gratitude as he goes through this most difficult time in his life. So let us pray for the spiritual strength of Samir Prabhu by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So G, gratitude, very, very important quality to cultivate. In the soil of gratitude, our Krishna consciousness can grow. Then our respect, we offer all respect to others, not desiring any respect for ourselves. A, acceptance. Whatever Krishna desires in our life, we have to accept this is the best thing for us. Krishna is a supreme controller. Not a blade of grass moves without the desire of Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karanam. That he's of all the Ishwaras, all the controllers, Krishna is Paramishwara, so he controls everything. And Krishna is our best friend. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, Gyatvamam Shantim Vichati. So Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, Surid means friend, Sarva, all, Bhutanam, living entities. He's the best friend of all living entities. So our best friend is Parameshwara. Our best friend is the Supreme Controller. Shamo Dhamastapasho Cham Shoyam Tejo Jutar. That Shamo, he's equal to everyone, but one who is a devotee of Krishna, Krishna becomes his special friend. He's equal to everyone, but he becomes our special friend, and he's a supreme controller. So why we should be afraid, why we should have fear, why should we question what is happening in our lives? Because we understand that Krishna is a supreme controller, and he's also our best friend. So A, acceptance. S, simplicity. Simple living, high thinking. Spiritual life becomes much easier when we live a simple life. Last year, I was traveling with a big suitcase that I had to check in the luggage. And a few years ago, I was traveling with a 32 kg Yamaha keyboard, Casio. 32 kg Casio. So I was traveling with His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. He was doing Bhagavad Saptahas. We were going to South Africa, Los Angeles, Botswana, all over the world. And every time this 32 kg keyboard came on the airport, I had to lift it off the belt. And in just a short time, my back was finished. And the doctors told me, you'll never jump in the kirtan again. I was in a wheelchair. My Guru Maharaj was wheeling the wheelchair through the airport as we were traveling together. I was his secretary. I was so embarrassed. Can you imagine? Your Diksha Guru is wheeling you in the wheelchair. I was like, stop, Guru Maharaj. He's like, we're late for the flight. He's like running with the wheelchair. My God. So then, now I'm traveling with only a small carry-on bag that goes inside in the flight. So, simplicity. My life is much more simple. It's much easier to pursue Krishna consciousness, easier to travel. My health is better, and I don't have to worry about my Guru Maharaj offering so much personal service to me anymore, which is so embarrassing. So simplicity is very, very helpful in Krishna consciousness. And ultimately, we should be surrendered to Krishna. Sarva dharman prityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masujaha. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, 66th text of Bhagavad Gita, abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Masujaha, do not fear. So all these qualities are very helpful in the cultivation of humility and Krishna consciousness. And as an example with this, I would like to share just a brief narration of an event in the life of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. We spoke earlier about Narottam Das Thakur's wonderful mridanga playing and kirtan, and how in the middle of his kirtan Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So how was Narottam so much empowered that he was able to invoke the presence of the Supreme Lord? For one thing, he had the mercy of the Supreme Lord himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when traveling in East Bengal, he went to the Padma River. And he entered into the Padma River and took snan. And he told the personification of Padma, he told her that I am endowing my prema into you, into this river. And when Narottam comes, you give my prema to him. So then Padma, she asked, how will I know when Narottam comes? So then Mahaprabhu said, you will know that Narottam comes because someone will swim and you will become so much ecstatic when that person enters your waters that you will overflow your banks. And then Padma said, yes, Mahaprabhu, I will fulfill your desire. So Mahaprabhu gave his prema into the Padma River. And Mahaprabhu was with kirtan, with his devotees, looking in that direction and chanting, and he was chanting, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. And the devotees were wondering, who is this Narottam? Who is this Narottam? And they could understand that very soon a great personality will appear here, named Narottam. Naro means man, and Uttama means topmost. So the topmost man, Narottam, will appear. So after the departure of Mahaprabhu from this world, Narottam appeared, and he appeared in a very, very wealthy family in Ketarigram. And Santosh Das, his uncle was super, super wealthy. He was like billionaire, super, super wealthy. But Narottam one day he went swimming in the Padma River, and he overflowed the banks of the Padma River. The water was overflowing the banks, and Padma could understand, yes, now Narottam has come. And Narottam's complexion was very dark. But then she infused the Krishna prema of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into Narottam. And Narottam went back on the bank of the Padma, and his complexion had changed from blackish color into a golden complexion. And he began to chant in ecstasy, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tears were flowing from his eyes like torrents of rain. The hairs were standing on his body. He was experiencing goosebumps and shivering. He was rolling on the ground and chanting. And this was going on for hours. And his family is like, what happened to Narottam? Where did he go? Where is he? And then, I hear he's gone to the bank of the Padma. Let us go and find him. So his parents went to the Padma River, and they saw him rolling on the ground, and he was golden complexion. They barely could recognize him. So they brought him home, and he was never the same. His heart was always filled with Krishna prema. His mind was always in Krishna consciousness, and he was constantly chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Narottam was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and he decided to travel to Sri Vrindavan Dham to associate with the devotees there. So it's a long story, which we won't go into the whole thing right now, but he managed to escape from his home, and he traveled to Sri Vrindavan Dham, and there he met the wonderful Vaishnava Sri Lokanath Goswami. And Lokanath Goswami was so kind to Narottam. He welcomed him with great Vaishnava hospitality. When Vaishnavas come, we give them very warm words and welcome them very sweetly, give them nice sitting place, give them some water, feed them very nicely, and just provide whatever they require. And Lokanath Goswami was very senior associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he offered this service to this young devotee, Narottam, just in sort of in a similar way that my spiritual master, he offered the service of wheeling me in the wheelchair. Then Lokanath Goswami offered very nice hospitality to Narottam Das Thakur. He served him. And Narottam Das Thakur, his heart was melted. And he met Rupa Goswami, he met Sanatan Goswami, and he met Jiva Goswami, and he studied with Jiva Goswami in his school. He had a wonderful school teaching all the Vaishnava Granthas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Rupa Goswami's works like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Bhagavad Gita and Satsandarbhas and so many wonderful shastras. So Narottam Das Thakur was studying, and he had two friends also there, the three of them. There was Shamananda, and there was also Srinivas. So the three of them, they studied together. They were great, great friends. And there's a lesson we can learn from their friendship also, because all three of these devotees, they had different Diksha gurus. Narottam Das Thakur was an aspiring disciple of Lokanath Goswami. Srinivas was a disciple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Shamananda was a disciple of Hriday Chaitanya. So the three of them were eventually initiated by different Diksha gurus, yet they were such close friends. They had such loving relationships. They were never separated. They were always hearing and chanting together, taking prasadam together, studying together, and chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So similarly in ISKCON we have so many Diksha Gurus and Shiksha Gurus, which is so wonderful. This is the wealth of ISKCON. We have so many wonderful devotees, and it's one big family. This is Srila Prabhupada's family. Srila Prabhupada has built a house in which the whole world can live. And it's like a brahmachari ashram. Like I stayed sometimes in some brahmachari ashrams, it's just like this temple room. There's no furniture, there's no beds, you just have a little locker to keep your things. Everyone stays together in one room. It's not that few devotees here, few devotees there. Everyone is together. So similarly at ISKCON, we're all together in one room in Srila Prabhupada's house. Regardless of which Diksha Guru, which Shiksha Guru we have, the mission is the same. Prithivitayachayata Nagaradi Gram, Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam. To spread the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in every town and village of the world. And we all come together as a team to do this. And this way we develop our loving relationships with each other. And there's no barrier of anything, not even nationality, or culture, or community, or even age. Srinivas Acharya was 20 years older than Narottam and Shamananda, but still the three of them were the best of friends. And this is very wonderful. So how did Narottam Das Thakur receive initiation from Lokanath Goswami? Narottam appealed to Lokanath Goswami, please initiate me. But Lokanath Goswami had taken a vow that I am not qualified. Out of his humility, he said, I'm not qualified to initiate anyone. I will not initiate you. So Lokanath Goswami was very, very firm in his appeal. And Narottam would say, please initiate me. And Lokanath would say, why? I even need to initiate you. You have received the Krishna Prema directly from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who am I to give you initiation? And Narottam Das said, no, Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says we should receive initiation. Tadvari pranipatena parish prashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. Upadekshanti, Krishna says, upadeksha, diksha, that soul will give diksha to you. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is recommending diksha. So Lokanath Goswami was still not convinced. Narottam Das was saying, even Krishna took initiation from, he had a guru. His guru was in Ujjain, Sandipani Muni. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Diksha. He took Diksha from Ishvarapuri. Yes. So if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking initiation, Krishna is taking initiation, I should also take initiation. Please initiate me. Lokanath Goswami was reluctant. He said, I will not do it. And then there was a dream. And in the dream, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Lokanath Goswami and says, you should initiate Narottam. But still Lokanath Goswami was so humble. He said, no, I'm not qualified. He would not do it. So Narottam said, please, Gurudev, let me at least offer some service to you. Because that's the process. Parish prashnena sevaya. One should offer service to the Guru. And then Lokanath Goswami said, no, I will not accept any service from you. Nothing. So then Narottam began serving Lokanath Goswami very humbly and secretly. Every morning, Lokanath Goswami would get up and respond to nature's call not far from the bank of the Jamuna. And Narottam would wait till Lokanath Goswami had finished his business. I hope you all understand what I'm referring to. So he would finish his morning ablutions, and then he would go for bath in Jamuna, and very secretly Narottam would go and with his own hands clean up that place where Lokanath Goswami had answered nature's call. And this was going, and he cleaned that place very nicely and splashed some water, some cow dung, and he'd leave some nice soft mud that could be used to wash and clean the hands. It was like very nice arrangement he was making. So after a very short time, Lokanath Goswami realized that someone is cleaning up this place and leaving this mud, and who is doing this? So one morning, after responding to nature's call, Lokanath Goswami hid behind a tree to see what would happen. And he saw Narottam come out and very lovingly with his own hands clean that place. And then Lokanath Goswami was shocked and he cried out, "Narottam, what are you doing? You're cleaning the stool of another man? Why, Narottam? Why? You're the son of a prince. You're the prince. You're the son of a king. Why you should not be doing this, Narottam?" And Narottam replied that, "Oh, Gurudev, that it is the perfection of my life to have the opportunity to offer menial service to a great Vaishnava like you. This is the perfection of my existence." And Lokanath Goswami's heart was so much melted by the sincerity and the service of Narottam that he agreed to offer initiation to Narottam. And later, Narottam became known as Narottam Das Thakur and is one of the great acharyas in our wonderful parampara. Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Lokanath Goswami ki jai. So just to recap, today we discussed humility, understanding that we need relationships, the importance of taking a humble position in a conflict. It's more important to have the relationships than it is to be right or wrong. Krishna consciousness is beyond right and wrong. And to always see oneself as the servant of the servant of the servant of the devotees. Gopi Bhartor, Padakamalayor, Das Dasam Das. And once again, the 5 qualities for Vaishnava relationships that we'll be discussing in this seminar: help to free all people, humility, tolerance, forgiveness, appreciation, and patience. And in our next session, which will be tomorrow, with the mercy of Krishna, we will discuss tolerance. Please invite your friends.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Can everyone see the funny picture?
Yeah.
Please invite your friends.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you very much.
H G Ekalavya Prabhu ki. Hari Bol.
So are there any questions or comments? Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
I just have a really silly question off the top of my head. There's the 5 subjects. There's
Yes.
4 days for the seminars.
Yes.
Which 2 are the?
The last 2 will combine.
Okay.
You know, like appreciation and patience. I like to combine because my presentation on patience is fairly short because I don't have any patience. Okay? Or kuch chahiye?
Like we're okay. Vaishnava is like a term for someone who is worshiping Vishnu, right? But
Yes.
or like Krishna.
Yes.
But somehow or other, we're all Vaishnavas inside, deep down, right?
Yes.
So we should be able to apply these qualities to everyone, not just like those that are in the temple, right?
Yes.
But then it's hard, I think, to sometimes see everyone with the same light,
Yes.
you know, because I think even as devotees we can look down on others, say that maybe don't follow the 4 regular principles,
Mm.
or, you know, sometimes it's easy to look down on people for different reasons, even our own conditioning. We just
Mhm.
don't realize what our true purpose is or
Yeah.
our true objectives are, and we can, so maybe you can address these things sometimes in the seminar as well, because it's it would be very practical or helpful for me.
Yes, this is a very nice point you're bringing up. We can go in further in depth, and I'll do my best to go. I can just briefly touch upon a few points at this time. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhi Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddhachite Karye Udoy. That Nitya Siddha. Nitya means eternally, and Siddha means perfection. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema means love for Krishna. So Krishna Prema, love for Krishna, is Nitya, it's eternal, and it's perfect, and it's in everyone. Not just the devotees sitting here in the temple room, not just the people chanting 16 rounds and following 4 regular principles, not just the people who appear to be, following dharmic principles, but even the lowest of the milechas and those beyond the varnashram system, and even the animals and the plants and the fish and the insects, because Atma is present in every living entity, and the nature of Atma is Jiveras Rupa Hoy Krishnara Nityadas. We're all eternal servants of Krishna. So Nitya Siddha, Krishna Prema, everyone has Krishna Prema in their hearts. However, for most of us, it's that Krishna Prema is dormant. It's in a sleeping state, like many of us are sleeping now. Jiv Jago, Jiva Jago. This process of Krishna consciousness awakens the sleeping Krishna Prema. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhi Kabunoi. By this sadhya, and we are practicing by the process of bhakti. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhi Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddhachite. By hearing and chanting, and essentially the 9 processes of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vednam. The processes of bhakti reawaken. Shravanadi Shuddha becomes pure. Chitte, the consciousness, becomes pure by the process of bhakti. And Karye Udoy. Udoy means to awaken, like the rising sun. So by following and participating in the processes of bhakti yoga, especially hearing and chanting, then the dormant or sleeping Krishna consciousness in all the living entities will gradually become awakened. So if we try to keep this concept in mind, then it will help us have this Shastra Chakshus, to be able to see through the eyes of Shastra, that we'll have this dristi, we'll be able to see that actually everyone is a devotee. Because Krishna consciousness is there in everyone's heart. And it's just a matter of reawakening that consciousness, Jiv Jago, Jiv Jago. That's why this Harinam Sankirtan is such a wonderful process. Because we go out into the public and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And every person who hears the Maha Mantra, it's a step towards reawakening the Krishna Prema in their hearts. And when we chant, it's also reawakening our Krishna Prema. It's like knocking on the door. Hello, hello. Wake up, time to get up. Krishna Prema is knocking at your door. Like that. And we give them prasadam. And also it's a wake-up call. When in ISKCON we have a joke. We say there are 2 mantras. One is good for sleeping, and one is good for waking up. The sleeping mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right? Everyone hears that? Right? And then we have one mantra that's very good for waking up. And that mantra is Mahaprasade Govinde. Right? It's actually accurate because by taking prasadam, honoring prasadam, then this Karya Udoy, it helps to awaken the Krishna consciousness. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said we should practice this para upakar. Brahmanda Bharate Kon, Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai, Bhakti Lata Beach, that we're fortunate, we have Krishna consciousness, we have association of great souls, Diksha Gurus, Shiksha Gurus, our Bhakti Lata Beach is growing, and Bharata Bhumate Hoy Manusya Janma Jar, Janma Satakakari, Para Upakar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, first, make your life successful by becoming Krishna conscious. And then help others make their lives successful by distributing Krishna consciousness. So if we keep this verse in mind, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadikabanoy, Shravanadi Shuddhachite Karye Udoy, this will give us the vision that every soul, every Atma is the eternal servant of Krishna. Everyone is a Vaishnava, as you mentioned. And this will help us to apply these qualities of humility, tolerance, forgiveness, appreciation, and patience to everyone. That being said, we do have to acknowledge the reality that all different Atmas are at different stages of conditioning. Some are favorable and practicing and moving on the path of Krishna consciousness, devotees. Some people are innocent, they don't know anything about Krishna consciousness, we can help them the most. Some people are so conditioned, they're sleeping so deeply that they resent it when we try to wake them up. Sometimes someone is sleeping and you say, wake up, wake up. They say, hey, let me hit the snooze, come on, it's Sunday, I want to sleep late. Right? And they resent being woken up. So some people are envious, they don't like it when we tell them about Krishna consciousness. So Shastras say those people should be left alone. Let them wake up on their own. Let them hit their own snooze button. Don't throw water on them. They'll just get angry. And then, so there's the Vaishnavas, there's the innocent, there's the envious. We have to deal in different ways with different Atmas. But keep in mind, hate the sin, not the sinner. Even if someone is very envious, very offensive, we should keep in mind that there's ultimately an Atma. Just like the terrorists who flew the planes into the World Trade Center. Do we hate them? No, but we hate them. We hate the qualities of greed and anger and envy and lust in their hearts. But ultimately, we understand that deep down, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhu Kamanoi, they're eternally servants of Krishna, and Krishna consciousness is in their heart and needs to be awakened. So we need to try to cultivate this mood. And it's good to come in association like this and discuss like this, because by hearing regularly, this will help us to imbibe and realize, gain realization of these very important concepts. Does that give some introduction? Is that some start in addressing this topic?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your nice question. We'll have one last question and then we'll conclude because we're getting over. Yes, Prabhu?
Vaishnava, thanks for your very nice explanation about humility. So my question is about fault finding. Some initiative devotee, they are finding fault in others, and sometimes they say that, oh, we don't go to the temple because you guys are not doing this, not doing that. How to handle those kind of situations?
Well, personally, I feel we can be part of the problem or we can be part of the solution. We have a choice.
You want to be part of the solution.
We want to be part of the solution. So I think, personally, that it's good to come to temple. This is Prabhupada's place. And even if not everything is perfect, which is the material world, and Prabhupada said, trying to have a spiritual movement in the material world, there will always be challenges, always difficult. But we owe it to Srila Prabhupada to do our best to try to help to whatever capacity we have. There's a topic coming up in appreciation seminar coming up. It's just give you a brief overview. It's the story of the bee and the fly. You have the madhumaki and the maki. So the madhumaki, the bee, can go in the most dirty place, stool field, and find one flower, and then the bee will go right for the flower. And the maki, the fly, can be in a beautiful garden with so many flowers. And if there's one piece of stool, it'll go right for that piece of stool. So we should try to be like the madhumaki, like the bee. And there may be so many faults that we can find, but we should look for that one good quality and focus our attention on that. Because that will also help us develop a good consciousness in focusing on the positive and not focusing on the negative. Prabhupada also had this ability. He'd see one good quality in someone and he'd just try to fan the spark into the flame of bhakti. So we should see those good qualities in others, like not like the fly, but like the honeybee. Not like the monkey, but like the madhumaki. Is that all right, Prabhu? Very nice. Thank you so much. May aap sab bahut abhari hoon. Thank you for your kind attention and giving me your association, giving me the opportunity to purify myself by speaking on these topics. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Tomorrow evening we'll discuss tolerance, and you can have an opportunity to tolerate me with the mercy of Krishna. And please bring your friends if you enjoyed the session. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vaishnava Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thakur Premanande.
His Grace Ekalavya Prabhu ki jai, Gaur Premanande.